And I'm back. Your favorite nobody, Daniel Rosenthal, talk about the NFL draft, one of people's favorite topics, but very rarely gone into depth. This is not in-depth videos. It's just a quick reading of the players picked. First 32 players picked if starting in 1980. So this is now up to 1982. And we're just going to read through them. I may save a few comments for the players that I remember or a few comments that just in general as they come to me. Okay, 1982 NFL draft. Number one overall, usually that means you had a really pretty terrible year the year before, or you traded up for the pick. But we're not going to get into trades so much, or really at all. Um, New England Patriots, Kenneth Sims, defensive end from Texas. Probably didn't have a Hall of Fame career. Don't really recall hearing of you, but again, I didn't really follow the AFC in that time period in the 80s. I was like living in Michigan, kind of a Detroit Lions fan. I mean, I was 7, 8, so no offense, Mr. Sims. I'm assuming you're an amazing human being. Number two, Baltimore Colts. They're still in Baltimore. Baltimore Colts, Johnny Cooks, Mississippi State. And again, sorry, don't know who you are. I'm sure you're an incredible person. Cleveland Browns, Chip Banks, linebacker for Southern California. Baltimore Colts, wow, 2 picks. Art Schlechter. No, I think I've heard of you. Did you gamble or something? You had some problems. You're number 4 overall pick, quarterback, Ohio State. Ohio State quarterbacks haven't had the best NFL careers. Sorry to say. Chicago Bears, Jim McMahon. I think most of us who grew up in the 80s know who Jim McMahon was and is. Punky QB. We had the famous video, of course, the 85 Bears, one of the greatest teams ever to play. Of course, one of the greatest, if not the greatest defensive team to ever be on the field. He was a quarterback from Brigham Young, probably other than Steve Young, who later was drafted. Amazing. I don't know why Jim McMahon doesn't get enough love. The guy was amazing. Freaking got knocked out of games, kept on playing. I mean, I know he has like really, really serious health issues. I've seen some interviews with him on YouTube. I personally loved him. Again, I was a NFC guy. Grew up watching Detroit, so I saw Jim McMahon. Again, I was 7, 8, 9 years old during his career. Young person. Jim McMahon, amazing. I think he had a much better career than people realize. I'm sure you probably think that too. Okay, and nobody cares what I think. Anyhow, Seattle Seahawks, Jeff Bryant, defensive end Clemson. Minnesota Vikings, Darren Nelson, running back. So found out it's very hard to draft running backs. Houston Oilers no longer exist. Now they're Tennessee Titans. Mike Munchak, guard, Penn State. I believe you're in the NFL Hall of Fame. Atlanta Falcons, Gerald Riggs, Arizona running back, Arizona State. Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Raiders, Marcus Allen, Hall of Fame, running back, Southern California. For some reason, I thought you were drafted a little like in the 70s, like 79 or 80, or at least 79 or 78, but I didn't realize you were drafted in 82. Amazing career, of course. Amazing Super Bowl, of course. Famous run. Kansas City Chiefs, Anthony Hancock, wide receiver, Tennessee. Pittsburgh Steelers, Walter Abercrombie. You like the name of the clothing company is named after you? Is that possible? Running back from Baylor. New Orleans Saints, Lindsey Scott, wide receiver, Georgia. Los Angeles, it's hard to draft wide receiver, especially in the first round. Los Angeles Rams, Barry Redden, running back, Richmond. Detroit Lions, not the greatest drafters. No offense, Mr. Williams. Jimmy Williams, linebacker from Nebraska. St. Louis Cardinals, Lewis Sharp, tight end from UCLA. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't know what to say about you guys. Sean Farrell, guard from Penn State. New York Giants, Butch Woolfolk. I'm sure I heard of you. Running back from Michigan. Could be that you went to the University of Michigan, where my dad went to the University of Michigan. So maybe I saw you play in at the big house when I was a kid. So I did used to. My dad used to be a student there. He was a undergrad and graduate student when I was growing up in Ann Arbor. It's one of the reasons we lived there. My mom, a blessed memory, and my brother. Buffalo Bills, Perry Tuttle, wide receiver, Clemson. Super hard to draft wide receivers. Philadelphia Eagles, Mike Quick, good name for a wide receiver. North Carolina State, don't remember your career. Sorry, Mr. Quick. Denver Broncos, Gerald Wilhit, running back, San Jose State. Green Bay Packers, Ron Hallstrom, guard, Iowa. New York Jets, not the best drafting franchise. I think we're going to see that. Ron Hallstrom, guard. I mean, the interior linemen of both, the offense and defense. I'm not really familiar with most of you guys, unless you made in the Hall of Fame, which is very rare and very hard to do. So you guys made it to the NFL. I never made it out of, basic, Pee Wee League, or I didn't even play in Pee Wee League. So whatever. Ray Halston, guard, Iowa. New York Jets, Bobby Crabble, linebacker, Notre Dame. Miami Dolphins, we're up to the 24th pick. Ray Foster, guard, Southern California. Dallas Cowboys, Rod Hill, defensive back at Kentucky State. Cincinnati Bengals, Glenn Collins, defensive end, Mississippi State. New England Patriots, Lester Williams, defensive tackle, Miami of Florida. Baltimore Colts, Leo Wisniewski. Sorry, mispronouncing your name, Leo. Defensive tackle, Penn State. Really apologize to you and your family. I'm not really good at pronouncing these kinds of names. That really sounded offensive. San Francisco 49ers, Bubba Paris, tackle for Michigan. Again, maybe I heard of you because, again, I grew up in Ann Arbor. Maybe I saw you play when I was a little child. And up to the 30th pick of the first round, Brad Edelman, Missouri. Cleveland Browns, Keith Baldwin, defensive end, Texas A&M. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Booker Reese, defensive end, Bethune-Cookman. Maybe I heard of you because eventually I moved to Tampa, but I don't know if name sign kind of rings a bell. I'm not sure. The only player that really jumps, no offense to any of these players, honestly, you guys are amazing people. They all made it, to the professional levels. Got drafted, of course, first round. The player that stands out the most in this, Marcus Allen, Gerald Riggs. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm confusing with somebody else. If I am, I'm sorry to both of you. But Marcus Allen, I think we all know who he is, Hall of Famer. First round, this is what we consider maybe a weak draft. Only one quarterback of note that I can remember, which would be Jim McMahon, at an NFL career that most of us remember. He's a quarterback of the 85. I mean, he played more than just that 1 year, obviously, but he was famously known for going up against Pete Rozelle, being sort of a bad boy. I think we kind of know most of us know who Jim McMahon was and is. Awesome career, everybody. Bye.